What's going on, people? It's Mr. back again with a preview show. I hope everyone's fit and well. And yes, this is the last preview show of the league game. It's Nottingham Forest v Hull tomorrow at 3:00. I think it's at the Casey Stadium, whatever it is. Anthony Wakes told me whatever stadium it's called. But yeah, I hope everyone's fit and well. If you are new to the channel, please do hit the like button. Subscribe if you know. I am 97 away from 7K. So, like I said, if you've not watched my vlog, please do hit the subscribe button. It's completely free. Comment below, people. What is your score prediction for tomorrow's game? I will shout them out for all the scores as well. And as well, I said it's the last game of the season. What has been your best home away game? Comment below, people, and I will get them in. As well, we've got Huddersfield. Well, I think it's the 7th time I've been there to Huddersfield. I've done 2 vlogs there. And we've won twice, 2-0. So after the show, if you want to watch or what the game was like, comment. The link is below. Make sure you watch them both. Right, let's get started. Last league game of the season before we go to the playoffs. I've got a special guest, Anthony. He came into my show last time. How you doing, Ant?
I'm all right, mate. Thank you. Are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm buzzing. We're headed to the playoffs. But yeah. Like I said, I think Anthony's got is it a podcast or YouTube channel? Just talk about your podcast or whatever you got.
Yeah, so I host the To Hull and Back podcast. We established it in December 2020, kind of as an off thing, but it's actually grown to have quite a bit of a backing, and it's I don't know, it's a weird way because it's like, you know, a way for me and my mates sort of talk about City in a way that we can't do anymore because I moved to Leeds. I betrayed Hull. I went chasing the missus to Leeds. So, so I can't. I'm not there as often anymore. So the chat in the pub isn't the same. So we decided to do that, and it's just something we enjoy. And now we've somehow got a following. So here we are. And I mean, we all love talking about our club, don't we? Even when we're doing crap, we love to vent. So. You know, it's something we enjoy, and like with what you've got your channel here, it's something just it's a nice hobby to distract from all our working lives.
100%. Like I said, people, if people want to follow, and please, like I said, the link is below. Go and follow his podcast, subscribe. And I said, as Anthony mentioned, this channel is just talk about football. And like I said, he's a Hull fan. I'm a Forest fan. I'm just like talking about football. So like I said, link below. Make sure everyone go and listen to it. Like I said, it's just something like I like to promote over channels as well. Right. Before we talk about tomorrow's game, and let's talk about the game at the City ground, and we beat you 2-1. And let me say, like I said, you wasn't a bad side. I know there's a few players, and we'll talk about the players as well. But can you remember that game?
Yeah, we actually have. There's been a lot of games this season where we've not played that badly and lost. I mean. The end of the day, our Achilles heel all season has been not putting the ball in the back of the net. We've struggled to score goals. I think we're like the 3rd lowest scorers in the division. Mitrovic has scored more goals than our team has.
Wow, so, really?
I know, yeah. Yeah, I think we've scored 40 goals as a team, and Mitrovic has got 43. So I think he scored more than us, Peterborough, and somebody else, Barnsley, I think. But yeah, I mean, we've missed a striker all season, and that was the kind of game where we needed a striker. I think, you know, our goal was probably one of the goals of the season for us. I think that it was a long looping pass from Sean McLaughlin over the top, and KLP got on the end of it and put it away. But you know, it was around that time that Forest were beginning the resurgence, and we knew what kind of challenge that Forest were going to give us that game. And it was one of them that we're not coming away from it kind of gutted that we're losing, because we knew how good Forest were at the time. So it was one of them where it was like, you know, we played well, fair enough. It was more of a performance in taking the encouragement from that more than the result. But yeah, I mean, look where you are now. So with hindsight, you know, it was probably even better performance than we expected. So, but yeah, we always enjoy games against Forest. We usually do quite well at the City ground, so I was quite good if we lost.
You do, and that's the thing. As you mentioned, like you always do well at City ground, and I think it was definitely the first half that you went 1-0 up. And with someone's mentioned about your place at Lewis Potter. I like Lewis Potter, and
yeah, we do.
Then second half, we took control of the game completely. And there's this question regarding. I think we'll talk about Lewis Potter later on. And let's talk about your ownership. And I said it's been a mad season for you. Like you changed ownership, you got a new manager as well. So tell the viewers what has been happening with Huddersfield. I mean, Hull
Well, basically, if you'd have asked any Hull City fan at the beginning of the season that at the end of the year you'd have secured survival with a couple of games to go and you'd have new owners, we probably would have bitten your hands off for it. I mean, that was the dream scenario. Our aim was always to stay in the division. Like, you know, we won the title in League One last season, which was great. But then we started this season with a transfer embargo, so we couldn't really sign any players of quality. And we knew the squad desperately needed championships quality. We've got a very young team, very inexperienced team. I think our back three are all like at least below 23. You know, it's a really tough ask to stay in the championship when you've got such an experience in your side. And we somehow managed to. I mean, points deductions probably had a little bit of a help here and there. But realistically, now when you look at the table, we'd have stayed up without them as well. So we can take solace from that we've actually played quite well through it. And we know we've not really got bar in the Bristol City game. We didn't really get battered at all in the season. We conceded 3 a couple of times, but we were always in the game. It was just, you know, finding ways to score goals. But obviously now with the new ownership, you know, the previous owners, it turned sour. You know, there was no real direction. There was no ambition. Fans were stopping attending. We had boycotts. It was just, you know, it was a toxic atmosphere all the time. And infighting amongst fans and division. We want a very good place to be. And as soon as the takeover happened, like that Blackburn game when we won 2-0, and the atmosphere and how well it was, and seeing all the fans together again and all the fans singing together, you know, it nearly brought a tear to my eyes when I came, because I took my little into her first game, the Swansea game, when we won 2-0, which was our new manager's first game. And all the stands, like, this never happens. All the stands were singing together, and it was like, we've got our club back kind of thing. Yeah, so, you know, he's come in and the new owner's saying all the right things. You know, he's taking 250 to 500 of our fans on a 5-star holiday to Turkey in summer. You know, it's weird having like a fan that cares and genuinely wants to connect with the fans and has big aspirations for next season. You know, we've been linked to the likes of Mesut Ozil in summer, which is just absolutely ridiculous.
I've seen that. Ozil. I think to myself, what?
Surely not.
And I'll be honest with you, right? When I saw the link about Ozil, I thought to myself, is this a Fawaz ownership? Because I thought to myself, Ozil. I think so. If you link with Ozil, what kind of players are you going to bring for the championship? But is it?
I mean, realistically, we're not going to sign him. It's. So our new owner, Adjan Ilaceli, like, he's a big deal in Turkey. Obviously, not many people in England will have heard of him. We didn't know him either. He's like, basically, he's been described as the Turkish Simon Cowell. He heads a couple of sports channels and things like that. He hosts the Turkish Voice and all this kind of thing. But he cares so much about football, but he's got really good contacts in the Turkish Football League because he's a big Fenerbahce fan. So some of the big clubs in Turkey, so some of the, you know, more journeyman players that have gone over there for kind of a retirement home kind of thing. Like, we were linked to Ryan Babel in January as well. And, you know, he's got this pull because he just knows so many people in the game. Like the lad we've got on loan this season, Syed Manesh, he's only played a couple of games because he was injured when he came in, but he's a big deal. Like, he's a young 20-year-old Iranian lad. He's got a big future. And we managed to pull him in on loan and sign him for a relatively low fee of about £2 million in summer, I think it's been agreed. But that boy is going to be special. And it's this kind of connection that the new owner's got that's giving us this kind of optimism for next season. And, you know, he did an evening with the fans and explained that he's going to try and bring in about 8 to 10 players in the summer, including a proven striker that's going to score goals at this level guaranteed. Like, he's willing to invest. He's made it clear that he wants the Premier League back. He's going to reduce ticket prices. And like I said, he announced it this evening that he was going to take 500 of our fans on a 5-star holiday free of charge to Turkey in the summer, which is just, you know, it's ridiculous.
Anthony, right? I'm not going to lie, right? Because Forest fans will know this, because as I mentioned, we had Fawaz as an owner, and he was saying exactly the same thing about getting so much players. We won't be back in the Premiership. So Anthony, I don't want to say nothing.
No, don't spoil it.
I'm just saying, people in the comments, Forest fans will know. Do you remember what Forest said about he was doing this for Forest? And now look what happened to Forest. Look what he done with the club. Absolutely hammered, just destroying Forest basically.
Did Fawaz have like a big background in football before he came to you guys, or was he just a businessman? Because the thing that makes us sort of believe what Adjan is saying is he is a football fan, and since coming in, all he's done is reach out to the fans. He wants to bring fans back. He did tickets for £2 repeatedly and things like that.
So it's just Fawaz was the same. 2-0. He's saying this, that, and the other. He says he's in gives the dream, everything. Forest fans, I'll show you the comments in a minute. In a minute, what you're trying to say. But like I said, Forest fans will know. When Forest brought Forest, he said, "This we're gonna make Forest big. He's gonna make Billy Davies the next Alec Ferguson." And then Forest fans know the story. I don't want to jump about it, but
yeah,
I said the way you're talking, I wouldn't believe what I want till you see it. Till you see it.
No, yeah, that's definitely sort of the mentality that the fans have got. You know, we've suffered for nearly the best part of 7-8 years under the Lambs. He banned journalists from attending to the stadium. He wouldn't let supporters groups get in contact with the club. It was, he made decisions without consulting fans all the time. Like there was obviously the famous trying to change our name to Hull Tigers, all that fiasco kind of thing. It's just nice to have a new guy come in, and obviously they're going to say the right things, and you've got to sort of take it as it goes, and you've got to see them put their actual words into action before you can fully back it. But since coming in, he's just been fantastic, and like, everything he said and everything that he plans, you do believe him, and I can't see him putting money into, because the problem is with a club like Hull City is we're not very fashionable, we're not desirable. Like you don't as a as a rich owner, you're not going to be looking at the likes of Hull City to buy if you're not going to try and properly invest in it, because you're going to lose your money, aren't you? Yeah. So the logic in my head would say, if you're going to buy a club like Hull City that's out in the sticks, out in the middle of nowhere, a club that, hasn't realistically achieved that much in its history, why would you do that with the potential to then lose money when you've got so much riding on it? So for me, he has to be telling the truth, because it wouldn't make financial sense. But, like I say, you've got to be apprehensive. We're going to take it as it goes, and we'll just see in the summer, see who he brings in, see what happens.
I said there's quite a lot of comments. I said the way you talking about, like I said, this is from Grant. Does sound a little bit Fawaz to me. This is from Lee. Shout out to Lee. Fawaz, his quick team won loads under him, so he thought he knew football. Another one, Fawaz tried to manage the team and kept bringing players who no one wanted. So this is trying to say, it's good to hear. Oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, but you've got to see it. Because I think the first time Fawaz he brought in so many players. Like I think when we had Billy Davies, everyone knows the story. I'm not going to keep talk about it, but everyone knows the story. So Anthony, if you want to know, go on Twitter and tell everyone about Fawaz, because like I said, we can talk for ages about this. But like I said, people can comment below, tell Anthony about Fawaz, because I can do it forever. I'm talking about, and I said one player stood out for me. And where is it? Where's that question? And this is a shot player as well. And he stood out at City Ground. Anthony, what do you think about Lewis Potter last game for Hull? Do you think he'll stay?
You know what? We're realistic in where he could end up and where he's going to be. This lad has got a similar career trajectory to Jared Bowen from the looks of it. He's been with us. I think he came into the team in our relegation season a couple of years ago. He came all right. He was only about 17, 18 when he came into the team. And he scored about 4 goals from January to the end of the season, to try and help us stay up. Obviously didn't work. He was a good player last season, had a bit of a contract spat mid-season, came away with, double-figure goals again, showing glimpses, but he's really raised his game this year. And, I'm going to give him because we're on our episode of the podcast tomorrow, we're doing player of the years. He did a clean sweep for the club player of the year awards. He got fans player of the year, supporters player of the year, and managers player of the year. He's a local lad from Hull, there's that connection with him. But realistically, if a Premier League team comes in for him and offers a good sum of money, I mean, I imagine there was some offers for him in January, and the owner was like, no, nothing less than 20 million is going to see this guy go. But we had one of the local reporters on our podcast talking about his future next season, and it's his last year of his contract. So, it's the gamble. Do you sell him for max value in the summer, or do you let his contract run down, sell him for less in January, or let him eventually go on a free? I personally think he will go to a Premier League team in summer. There's too many teams that are looking at him at the minute. There's been West Ham, Leicester, Brentford. They've all been looking at him. it sounds like from what we've got from discussions with sources close to him is that, you know, he's got quite level-headed people around him. You know, he's not got silly agents trying to get absurd amounts of money. They know the decision, like, you know, they know the gamble of going to a Premier League team and then not playing again for a while and sort of losing your potential in that. Like, you know, you can see Jack Clark playing in the League One playoff semi-final tonight. You know, he was destined for great things at one time. But we'd love him to stay, and hopefully the new owner can give him a contract that, you know, sort of says, you know, believe in the process, stay with us, and try and help us get to that, you know, the promised land of the Premier League. But realistically, he'll probably be in the Premier League next season, and we couldn't stand in his way. Similar to what we did with Bowen, you know, he's been here probably a season longer than we expected him to, and if he goes with the City's good graces. But, you know, you don't want to lose your best players, do you?
100%. Like I said, we got Brendan Johnson, a great player for Forest, and like I say, Forest didn't go up. Like people like Brennan, Spence as well. He was definitely gone. Joe Borrow, like I said, I fully understand where, like, I mean, you can't keep your best players in this league. Like I said, Premiership players, teams will be after players. If there's anyone that wants to ask any question to Ant regarding the whole season, please comment. And I said I'll ask Ant. Let's talk about, like I said, I always mention rival clubs, and you mentioned Forest, Steve Cooper. We've been fantastic. And so, as a rival fan, what do you think of Forest?
I actually like Forest. Do you know what? If you went on Hull City's Twitter, even mine, to be fair, because we've been obviously there was a lot of hit, you know, a bit of jiggery pokery, I think it's got what it's called, around, you know, Forest fans trying to get tickets in the home end to City. And then the club doing what it can to sort of prevent that, and there's been a bit of banter between both sets of fans. But, you know, realistically, Forest are one of those sides out there that, you know, if you were going to create a 20-team Premier League and you would choose what sides are in it, personally, Forest would be in that for, I think, probably the vast majority. You know, you've got history, you've got the fan base, you've got that sort of lure about you that says you should be in the Premier League. And, you know, obviously all those leagues, that the few seasons spent in League One, and then sort of just being about consolidating in the Championship and not really doing anything. And then, like you say, at the beginning of this season, it was terrible. But then since Cooper's come in and just revitalised it, you can see now that potential of Forest starting to come back. And personally, I do think that even if not this season, next season, you're going to be in the Premier League for me, or if not challenging again, at least next season. But your season since he's took over has just been phenomenal. I think it's something like, and he took like the second or third most amount of points in that time or something. It's been absurd, the amount of wins, and, you know, to turn it around like he has and not win Manager of the Year, which I think he probably should have done.
Don't talk about that. Like, everyone knows my opinion on how it is. Like I said, I get it. I understand, get it why the Luton manager got it, but then afterwards he got spanked by Fulham 7-0. So it is what it is. And like I said, Steve Cooper's done a fantastic job, as Forest fans know. It is what it is. People, listen, there's 90 people in. Thank you very much for the people that come and see this last preview of the show. Like I said, if you are new to my channel, please do hit the like button. I'm on 19 likes. If you can get me to 50 likes before the preview finishes, please do. Like I said, if you want to ask any questions to Ant, please do as well. And subscribe to my channel as well. I am like 90 away to 7K. So I much appreciate if you do before I get to Hull tomorrow. People, get your predictions in. I'll give Anthony's predictions for tomorrow's game. Anthony, like I said, at the start of the season, like I said, I mentioned where did you predict Hull will finish? And whereabouts are you finished now? Whereabouts are you now in the league?
I think we're 18th at the minute.
Okay.
We've probably spent the vast majority of the season in 19th, so it's a bit of a change to be in 18th. But no, I think I predict.
Are you disappointed with it where you finished, or are you happy with it?
No. Like I said, we all the aim was to stay in the league, so we took 21st. You know, we've had moments of the season where we've had like 1 or 4 or 5 on the bounce, but then we go on bad runs, and then towards the end of the season we were really good away and crap at home, and then, you know, it's switched towards the end of the season. It's been such a strange season, but, you know, realistically we just needed to get back in the Championship, consolidate, and try and build for next year. But we've kind of gone one better with, you know, getting rid of the old ownership, the old management, and and getting an entire new face for the club and reason to actually look forward to next season. So I predicted us personally to finish probably in and around lower mid-table, kind of 15th, 16th. But that was on the basis that I thought maybe momentum from the winning the title last season might have given us, but it's proved to be quite a difficult season. So I can't complain at where we finished, and I think the vast majority of City fans would share the same opinion. You know, we realistically we just needed to stay out of the bottom three, and we've done that.
There's two questions for you, Ant. Let me see. I think this was harsh. Ant, what do you think of the harsh sacking of McCann? As a Forest fan, I thought it was harsh. It was really harsh.
To a lot of outsiders, it seemed harsh. Now, you see, you got to look at it from the perspective of the new owner. Yeah. When he first started really getting into the final stages of the takeover, we were on the back of something like no win in 15, 16 games, and the fans really wanted him gone because his previous record in the Championship, you know, how he took us down last time, was abysmal. Like, if you look at his overall Championship record, it's really bad. Like, it's one of the worst Championship runs ever that got us relegated. And then we started in a similar vein this year, and it was his reluctance to switch systems. It was, you know, he played the same formation, the same players all the time that didn't look like they were up to scratch. And it was frustrating because when you're watching your team lose every week, something has to change, and he wasn't changing anything. And it was really, really, really frustrating. But then, like you say, he switched systems to a three at the back, which is what we played against Forest at your ground as well. Yeah. But that was through necessity now because we had no fit fullbacks. So he had to play a three at the back, and we played two strikers as wing backs, which turned out to be quite a masterstroke because Keane Lewis Potter and Ryan Longman played as wing backs, and he was actually quite good. So he stumbled upon this system through necessity. Now, whether or not he just stuck with it when he got some of the fullbacks back, late January, we'll never know, obviously, because he got sacked. But the decision to sack him was made way back when we were, doing terrible. So he can't then just buy the club and say, actually, no, you're doing all right now, I'm going to keep it. It was the problem with McCann is that we had spats like that where we would go 4 or 5 unbeaten, but we won 4 on the bounce, and then we kind of veered off again, and then won against Bournemouth and Blackburn, because Swansea was a new manager. Bournemouth and Blackburn on the bounce. And then he got sacked, and obviously that's going to look very harsh because he's just beaten Blackburn, who were up in the top 3, I think, at the time, and Bournemouth, who was second. And it's like, he's turned things around, and I don't know, it's a weird one. I would have personally probably given him to the end of the season as sort of courtesy to how well he'd done up to that point, but I can also see why we got rid of him. It's one of them, either way. The problem is that no one really knew how good Shota Arveladze was as a manager because he's relatively managed in foreign leagues that haven't, been at a similar level to the Championship. And it's always a gamble when you bring them kind of managers in. So you wanted that sort of security of a manager you at least knew what to expect from. But yeah, it's one of them. It's a tough one. You could have kept him and it'd have been justifiable. You could have got rid of him. It'd have been justifiable. I mean, he's like I say, if you get his overall Championship record up, it's truly abysmal. But he's done all right with Peterborough, so who knows?
Another one for you, and this is from River 6295. Ant, which Forest player have you been impressed with the most?
Easy, Brennan Johnson. We played against him last season when he was out on loan. Was he Lincoln?
Lincoln, yep.
And he was very good in League One, and he was one of these players who was compared with against KLP regularly. Happened again at the beginning of this season. But then, obviously, since Steve Cooper's taken over you guys, the levels that he's gone to, like in terms of goal contributions, both scoring and assisting, like his stats have just gone through the roof, haven't they? I mean, he is some player that, given the fact he's 2021, something like that,
20,
he's still 20. He's got so long to still develop his game, and considering he's at these levels in the Championship at the minute, is probably suggesting that he's going to go on to do special things. And I think if you stay down, you're going to do well to hold on to him, similar to us with KLP.
Who's better, Brennan or KP?
What?
People in the comments. People in the comments.
Different players.
You got to say people in the comments, who do you think better, Brennan or KP?
Statistically, this season, Brennan Johnson's obviously been better. I think the versatility of KLP this season has been impressive because he's been asked to play in about 4 or 5 different positions and been equally as impactful in them all. Whether or not Brennan Johnson could do that, we don't know. But from what he's done this season, you'd have to give it to Johnson this season. But it was KLP last year, so they're 1-1. We'll see what happens next season.
Yeah. So people, like I said, I've got to say, I think Brennan's better. But I think, like you mentioned, Keenan Potter's, he's a fantastic player. Like when he played against Forest, first off as well, I think he destroyed Spence.
I mean, I think it's also like, you know, you've got to look at it in the chat because it's weird. You know, you can look at statistics and they can be manipulated to sort whatever agenda you want to push. So, you know, Brennan Johnson's been playing in a side that creates a lot more chances and plays a lot more attacking football, whereas KLP's been in a side that doesn't create many chances and is at the wrong end of the table. So if you'd have put Keane Lewis Potter in the Forest team, you don't know what his stats would have been if they'd have been similar or better than Johnson's, you know, and would Johnson have done as well in a Hull City team that didn't create as much? So it's interesting discussions to try and look at the perspective of the season. I mean, KLP's on, I think it's 13 or 14 goals, and it's in a team that, in a team that scored 40 overall. So, you know, he's a large percentage of our goals, and he's been playing in left wing back for most of the season as well. So, you know, it's an interesting topic, but, you know, like I said, statistically, Johnson's done phenomenal this season. So you couldn't really say 100%. KLP on the basis of that.
Actually, I've asked predictions now. We'll ask Ant his score prediction in a minute now. I'm just looking for score predictions as well from this one. This is later. Do you know 3-0 to Forest? Adam says 4-1 to Forest. Patrick says 5-0 Forest. If there's any Hull fans, put the comments below as well. And our Forest fans as well. What's your score prediction for tomorrow's game? Peter says 3-0 to Forest. 2-0 to Forest reserves. We don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, we're in the playoffs now, so I think personally, I said, and I want Forest to finish third because due to work commitment. So I hope Forest do win the game. That's what people. If you can, like I said, get comments below and what's your score prediction for tomorrow's game. And last but not least, what's your score prediction for the last game of the season?
Do you know what? This is the hardest one that I've had to do, and it's because both teams have got their fate sealed, so it's kind of a null. We've turned it around at home lately. Our last home game was a 3-0 win against Reading. Obviously, it's Reading, they're down near us, so it's not a fantastic win, but we don't score 3 at home. It's our biggest home win of the season. But then, obviously, we go to Bristol City and get turned over 5-0, which is the first time that's happened this season. We've been really good away. So it depends what Hull City turns up. Let
me say, Bristol City is not away for everyone. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, we conceded 5 there last time as well, but we scored 5 as well, so it was a bit of a different one this time. But it depends what City side turns up, because I personally would like him to see play some of the youngsters, fringe players, but I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to try and stick with a proper 11, and like you say, Forest will want to win realistically, have the most points on the board, and I just think that given our players' performances at Bristol last week, they're already on the beach, and I think Forest are going to have that fire in the bellies for the playoffs. So I'm going to predict a Forest win. I'm going to say probably I'm going to go 2-0 Forest, just on the back that our players will really try and muster up any sort of a fight from what I'm going off last week. So yeah, as long as we don't get another 5-0 loss, I'll be fine.
I'll take that. Like I said, I've been to Hull. I don't know how many times I've been to Hull. I've been to Hull bloody 6 or 7 times, and and we've got a good record there as well. I remember we beat you 3-0. Kieran Dowell scored a hat trick. The last time I went there, we beat him 2. Was it? I think it was every Christmas Eve. We beat you Christmas Eve. I think it was 2-0. I think it was.
Yeah, it would have been.
It was Grabbin scored both. I think it was Grabbin. But yeah, people, if you want to see the vlog, the link is below. So go on, see the vlog. Before we go, I'm going to look for some score predictions for the game. True Red says Hull 0 Forest 2. Like I said, I'll take that. Grant says 4-1 to Forest. Claire says 2-0 Forest. Weekend team. Shout out to Glenn as well. 2-0 Forest, consolation for at least the match Huddersfield result as well. But yeah, I'll take the result. I'll take 2-0. But should I do?
Do you think realistically then that you're going to play a weaker team, or do you think he'll try and keep momentum with his starting 11 and sharpness and whatnot?
the way I think Steve Cooper is, like I said, he wants momentum because, as you know, playoffs is a lot to it. So I think and definitely Cook's definitely out. Cook's definitely out for the game because due to what happened to his father. But I think there might be 1 or 2 or 3 changes. I think, but Steve Cooper, I don't believe what Cooper says. He likes to say this player's out, this player's out, this player's out. And when you see the team he's playing, so I think we'll play a strong side, and we want to finish on a high after what's happened to Forest this season. So I think there'll be a few changes. But come on, blame people. Do you want a Forest weekend team? I don't, because I want to finish third, and it is what it is.
But then you also risk injury, don't you? So if Brennan Johnson plays, for example, and Sean McLaughlin throws in a bit of a nasty challenge, and all of a sudden you're on the back foot in your playoffs, aren't you? It's that 50-50 doing it. Do you risk it or do you go for it?
Me personally, I want to win the game. I think we've got the team. Have we got the backup players for it? I think we have. But I believe we can make some few changes and still win the game. But it is what it is. But yeah. Right, Anthony, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on the channel. Like I said, Anthony's got a podcast. Link is below. Go and check it out. Like I said, he just said he's done a Forest preview on the show. Link below. Please go and watch it. But like I said, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on the show. People, if you want to see the vlogs that I did at Hull, I think one was 3 years ago. I think it was when we beat 2-0. One was 2 years ago when we beat 2-0. I think it was under Sabi Lamucci. Please go and watch that. I am as well 490 away to 7K. So please, the 84 people that are here, please go and hit the subscribe button for me. Like I do, it's a massive help. What else is there? Oh yeah, and last night I forgot. Happy birthday to Des Oldham. He did a review show yesterday. So there's all people put in the comments. It's Des Oldham's birthday, and as well, he is wearing the full kit. Wanker. So people, if there's any Hull fans, any Forest fans seeing tomorrow, take the mick out of Des because, like I said, he's wearing the full kit because he did reach 500 subscribers. So people, if you like to go and subscribe to Daily, he did a massive job for me yesterday, and as well, showing some love as well. But happy birthday, Des, and I'll see you tomorrow, Des. As well, people, subscribe to me, and as well, the 77 people. If you can get me to 50 likes, please do. Right, tomorrow, like I said, I do apologize. I thought the game was 3 o'clock. The game's at 12:30. So my bad. I completely forgot the game was 12:30 kickoff. But if you do see me tomorrow, people, get me on my vlog. It's the last game of the season. I think I'm going to the Working Man's Club, Anthony? That's across the road from the ground. I think it's
yeah, the one next to the car park.
Yes, that's it. Yes, so I love that place. I really enjoy it. So people, if you do want to get a vlog, I'll be there. I'll get there for 10 o'clock. I'll be with Gary, Malcolm, Des will be there as well. So let's see, if you want to get on the vlog, please don't be shy. Last one before the playoff starts. Right, before I do go, there's little more questions. Let's see. This is from Glenn again. Not wicked team, tactically subs and rest, Figs in for Cook, Manis, Larea, and Cafu in for Yates. Yes, I'll rest Yates. Late leggy against Bournemouth. But yeah, I will rest Yates. Another one, Rebo City. Mister, are you doing a vlog for the FA Cup final? Yes, I will. I've never been to Old Trafford before. So, as you know, Forest are playing Manchester United under 18s in the next Wednesday. So, I will be there. So, if any Man U fans and there's any Forest fans going there as well, it's going to be fun. I've never been to Old Trafford before. So, I will be going for the first time. As well, I'm seeing some more comments as well. There's quite a lot of birthday messages for Des as well. From Mark Preston, happy birthday, Des. From Kay, happy birthday, Des. And there's another one from Dave Chappell, happy birthday, Daily Des. Another one from Peter Walsh, happy birthday, Des. Yeah, like I said, Des is wearing a full kit after reaching for 500 subscribers. So, people, like I said, people go and subscribe to Do Daily. It's a different kind of vlog. Mental health. If you feel down, go and watch Do Daily. It's a fantastic channel. Another one, and you know what? And this is for you, Anthony, as well. regarding VAR, how can you mention how America compared to the EFL and asked the VAR plenty of games? This kind of shown his power and protection of the team. Anthony, before we go, let me ask you about: do you want VAR in the Championship? Because, like I said, have you had some decisions that backfired on you?
You know, I'm a big believer that we've got to. Human error is a part of football. It always has been. Yeah. Yes, sometimes decisions go against you and it's annoying, but then you have decisions that go for you. I could get plenty of examples this year of where referees have been absolutely terrible for us and cost us a game. But then I could also get you examples such as Birmingham at home, where Ryan Longman clearly dribbles the ball off the pitch, crosses the ball into the box, and Honeyman scores. And the whole pitch stopped, even our players, because they knew it were off. But the referee gave it because the linesman didn't give anything. So it takes it away from you watch Match of the Day and Premier League games and stuff, and when a goal goes in and they're waiting for the confirmation of it, and it just would take the emotion away for me. I wouldn't want to have VAR personally, and definitely not be the Championship guinea pigs in playoffs. I mean, imagine how frustrating it would be to have VAR brought in for the playoffs when you've not had them all throughout the year, and then the decision sees you not go to Wembley. Imagine how heartbreaking that would be. I just can't. I know that they're trying to improve the accuracy of decisions and things like that. And, you think back to Lampard's goal at the World Cup that went over the line but wasn't given, things like that. But realistically, it's not needed. It ruins the whole heat of the moment thing for me. And I personally wouldn't want to see it.
So Anthony doesn't want it. People in the comments, do you want VAR? I personally think we need it because as far as fans know, we've had so many decisions that should have gone our way. Like we mentioned Bournemouth, we can mention QPR, we can mention Luton. These points have been vital for Forest, and as well, if we got them decisions from the referee, it'd be a different story. And like we mentioned the Bournemouth game, but we could have got a point there or 3 points, and this game could have been we could have got promoted if we beat Hull. Personally, I think we need it, but it is what it is. We've had so much.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because it's for me, the pure euphoria of celebrating a goal, or something like that, or the I don't know, the drama on match day is taken away a bit with VAR. Personally, I know, obviously, points on the board is the main thing, and results at the end of the day. Football is a results game, and to get promoted, you have to win games, and decisions could have cost you that. But for me, if you score a really important goal, and you know that it's getting checked for VAR, that initial cheer of the goal going in is going to be quite muted until the second one comes, and then the second one's not as euphoric as it would have been because you've been waiting for it to come. And I just don't know. It's one of them, innit? I value the match day experience more than the result kind of thing, because to me that is football. It always has been football, and it's becoming now this sort of this TV program that has to be dead spot on because everything's overanalyzed by pundits, and Sky Sports are doing 7 games a weekend and whatnot. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like football's going a direction that none of us want it to go, and VAR, I think, is a part of that. But obviously, that's what is the beauty of football, is we all have different opinions and think different ways, don't we? So
exactly, it's like I say, it's everyone loves the game, and when we get decisions, and we're not going to like it, but we don't want football to change, and I think that's what Anthony's trying to say. It's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. It's just when. But it's what it is. I wish we had VAR against Bournemouth because that could have been a different game to us. And it is making. But like I said, we playoffs. And if Forest fan fall, like I said, do you ever think right now, thinking we're in the playoffs after what happened with Forest, the first 7 games on Hooton, and Cooper's come in, and as everyone's seeing it, he's done a fantastic job for Forest. Right, it's been a pleasure. Like I said again, thank you, Anthony, for coming on the show. But like I said, people, I'll be there tomorrow, 12:30 kick off. I'll get there for 10 o'clock. And as well, if you want to get my vlog, people, don't be shy. Please, you'll see, you can't miss me because I'm going to be with Des, and I mentioned he'll be wearing a full kit tomorrow. But please, be like I said, I'm going to get home. If you are new to my channel, please do hit the subscribe button. I am 190 away, 100 away from the 7K. So please do subscribe, like as well to my new channel as well. Right, peace and love, people. I hope everyone's is there tomorrow, and make sure we got a massive win so Forest can be geared up for the playoffs. See you soon. Peace and love.